When I was 4 years old, I asked my uncle what happens when we die. Well, he said, if you're good, you will go to heaven and be with God. If you're bad, you will go to hell and stay there forever. What's hell? I asked. I don't remember how we described it, but I do remember the visceral fear in my stomach. I remember trembling, tears welling up in my eyes as I realized I could never be good enough. I was bad. I must have been born that way. I had no chance, and so began an obsession. The hypocrisy is too much to bear. By the logic of Christian faith, God created us in His image. We are like Him in heart and soul, and so, when given the edict to not partake of the fruit of knowledge, Eve succumbs to curiosity and bites the apple at the incitement of the serpent. And so our trouble begins. Our divinity is stripped away. We are cursed with shame and doubt for punishment of our capriciousness. We are given short lives, famine, and disease. We are cursed to work, toil in fields while our babes and mothers die in childbirth, impure, unbaptized, and damned. With cruelty of a child, God completes our nativity by gifting us His own shadow, an act of projection so brazen its conceit is immeasurable. And so the two hands of God came to be known, that which giveth and that which taketh away. What once read as mindlessly simple fear-mongering rings truer today as evangelical politics stomp the right to liberty beneath the heel of cherry-picked Old Testament verses. One cannot speak the whole truth without uttering a curse, just as day must turn to night for the sun to have any meaning. The human soul is not a beacon of purity, but a complex mess of inaction and failed evaluations, continuing its course in flesh, just as God continues theirs in souldom. We are fractals of both love and cruelty, learning to know thyself through infinite reflections. Eden was a padded daycare center, far too kind to facilitate growth. But then, what is hell? At least, in the modern presentation of Christianity, it is a permanent torture. It is typically a place of fire and pain where the torments of flesh are abundant, administered wantonly for infractions as severe as murder or as benign as a failure to accept Christ as the incarnation of God, despite the whole of us sharing this feature as children of the divine. Shall we not make exceptions for the foreigner, for the well-meaning but ignorant, for the thief which steals only to feed and the killer who slaughters only to protect? Or perhaps the God atop His hill, vengeful and petty, allowing each and every crime encouraged by the design of His great machination? And to hold this question in your heart, why, that would be the greatest sin of all. To deny perfection, to claim there are cracks in the foundation, to reconcile the hypocritical enmity of old world God with the apparent wish to do good expressed in the soul of each newborn human being. Something else is peeking through the mirror, and God grows silent. In the Western world, our reality grows dim. Are we alone, or are we damned? Who among us is deserving of eternal glory and bliss? Who among us deserves a seat at God's right hand, and who among them would want to serve such a cruel master? This is not the rallying cry of Satan. This is the predicament the church has left us, the same my uncle gave to me before I could read. This is the final destination of rationality, and the only apparent options are fear or doubt. I served the first act of my life under fear. I served the second under doubt. And now I turn to curiosity. The trauma of America's obsession with Christ is not the only path. The Buddha speaks of hell as a place of rebirth. It is one of many astral realms in which one could find themselves after death. Determined by the weight of their karma, one may suffer, but in the service of a higher reincarnation. Torture becomes lessons, and instead of eternity, one is gifted an opportunity to change. Hindus and Jains bear a similar perspective, one which is often reflected in New Age works and observable through acts of intense introspection. We see realms beyond eternal damnation, entities more sophisticated than the mindless do-evils of demonology. The lesson goes then, as it always does, that we must release our fear. Hell exists primarily, if not entirely, as a construct in the mind, a destination raced towards by those attempting to escape its gravitational pull. Striving to behave in line with the moral principles of the Bible will leave you exhausted, weak, and an ineffective citizen. Subservience and judgment are not virtues. Failure to forge your own path is failure to create your own reality. When we fail to create, only then are we unlike God, and only then do we find ourselves in hell. Hell looks like four walls. Hell is slow, quiet, dispassionate, and distracted. Hell is a 6-inch screen containing a black hole of empty thoughts and echo chambers. Hell is self-deception and appetite for propaganda. Hell is the serving of self, the inflation of ego, and the set of mind that your truth is righteous and immutable. Hell is here now, and most of us are already raptured in its flames. This is religious trauma. The Western fear of hell is a manufactured device created for mass control. The path of the spirit comes secondary to human power structures. We are exploited for our work, our energy, our money, and time. The mongering of fear seeks to monopolize the space in our heads and fill the quiet moments with dread and doubt. We are shackled by our fear, cowed into submission so that we might maintain the pattern, push the trauma onto our children, and maintain the generational power of the church. Fear is a popular tool because it is effective. This is not intended to turn you away from God or the world of spirit. Instead, it is a reminder to seek answers within. A mind empty of fear has room for the divine spark. It is said that we are all born with a God-shaped hole inside ourselves. To allow someone else to fill it with promises of heaven or hell is to deny yourself the glory of self-awareness. Forge your own path. Be mindful of liars, and know no devil but the one within. It is perfectly obvious that the whole world is going to hell. The only possible chance that it might not is that we do not attempt to prevent it from doing so.
Hey, thank you for watching that video. I appreciate you. If you liked it, please hit like. If you disliked it, you can hit that button too. That's okay. And please subscribe. If you're interested in keeping up with more of this stuff, I'm going to keep making these weird esoteric videos, whatever they are. I also want to say thank you to all my patrons. I appreciate you all so much. I'm a really small channel, and having folks already behind me just feels amazing. I really appreciate you so much. If you are interested in becoming a patron, please check it out. Patreon.com. American Dragon is what it's under. I do have links and stuff like everywhere, so it's not hard to find. I make music. I make visual art, which includes videos. It also includes like drawings and paintings, stuff like that. And every month to subscribers who sub at least $5 or more, I send out postcards in the mail. People are really into that. It's a fun thing that I like to do. And most importantly, please leave a comment. Please talk to me. I'm going to be wrong about stuff, and I want to hear all about why. I'm actually really quite excited to engage with folks. That's really my #1 goal of being here, is just to engage, talk to y'all, and just kind of, I don't know, get a read for how everybody else thinks about these really big, weird ideas. It's nice to have a community to connect with on weird stuff like this. So let's build one, you know? So thank you again for watching, for sticking with me. I'm going to see you the next time I make one of these things. I'm having a lot of fun, so it probably won't be too long. Anyway, see you later.